My name is Tabsen Kezi, and I will be explaining to you what communication is from an actor's workbook. We first need to understand what is communication. We know communication as a simple act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. When we read from an actor's work, we learn that there is more to communication when it comes to acting. When acting out a role, you do not just say out your lines, but your body language is important, as in an actor's work, we read, quote, "It is important that an actor's eye, his gaze, his lens, reflects the size, the depth of his creative mind." I hope you understood the passage that I just read, but basically, we know communication as us just talking to each other. But when it comes to acting, it matters. Your body language matters, how you stand, how you speak, and also, which is very important, your eyes, how you look at that specific person. You don't just want to give them a blank stare. I hope you understand that. And now we're going to move on to our next slide. Being an actor. The actor needs to give themselves wholeheartedly to a role and merge with the character and undergoes a creative transformation. Acting is all about going into different characters and understanding your character, because there is no way you will be able to portray a character if you do not understand it. The need to have proper and continuous communication with people or thing in life, the need is 10 times stronger on stage. If an actor does not want to lose grip on a large audience, they must have unbroken communication with their partner through their own feelings, thoughts, and actions. Alright, what I got from that passage is basically that you need to give yourself wholeheartedly to that specific character. Because when you don't give yourself wholeheartedly to that specific character, you won't portray it the way it should be portrayed. You need to understand it, do research, so you know what the character is all about. And you need to have unbroken communication with your partner, the specific person you'll be acting out with. Because you don't want to be on stage and not doing anything and just standing there, because you will lose the grip of your audience. So you need to make sure that you're always communicating with them, not only with your words, but with your action, also your eyes, the gaze, as I said in the beginning. So basically, you need to make sure that your communication with your partner is very strong on stage. Communication skills. Deep listening. Listening is not only about being able to repeat the words that have been said, it is about listening to what is being said behind these words. Creates nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is responsible for the most part of what people think and feel about you. Relaxation. People with great communication manage to stay relaxed when they communicate, even when they are deeply touched by what they are saying. Imagination and storytelling is important in your communication, as it is used to tell a story. Alright, I'm basically going to explain what that slide was about. Deep listening. You want to read your script and understand it. You don't want to just read out the script and not understand. It's going to be quite difficult to act it out because you don't understand the words that are being said on your script. So you need to understand the meaning behind those words. Great nonverbal communication. It's basically your thoughts, your feelings, and also how you portray your character, your actions. Relaxation. You need to try as much as you can to stay relaxed, especially when you say out your lines, so you don't stutter and panic and not even act right when you're portraying that specific character. Imagination and storytelling. Imagination is needed, so you need your imagination to take you to that specific place to portray that character, so you can portray it right. So when you need to act scared, you need to put it in your head, imagine yourself being scared and portray it. Different types of communication. Self-communication, direct communication with object and with audience, communication with a non-existent or imaginary object, external, visible, bodily communication, emitting and receiving. This forms an invisible link between objects, which creates an inner connection. Communication must always be easy, free, and natural with no waste of physical energy. We must also remember to control the tone of our voice. Alright, self-communication. This is the communication that happens in your head, in your mind, basically in your thoughts. Direct communication with objects, with audience. This is the communication that happens on stage. When you're performing on stage, you're communicating to your audience. Okay. Communication with non-existent imaginary objects. This is basically you acting on your own. So you might be given a role where you have to speak to a ghost. So you must be able to act out and not feel crazy or feel abnormal, but just basically be able to portray that character, to speak to yourself. And then external and visible bodily communication. This is a communication that requires your body. You're communicating with your actions, basically, and your eyes, as I said. Your eyes, your body, and how you act. Yeah. Emitting and receiving. This forms an invisible link between objects which creates an inner connection. So emitting is when you're giving out. You're giving out, you're speaking or doing. And receiving, the object receives what you're doing or saying. So they have that invisible link that links them together. Communication must always be easy, free, and natural with no waste of physical energy. So when you're on stage, you don't want to be tense and looking uncomfortable on stage, but you want to be relaxed, confident, and knowing what you're saying. We must always remember to control the tone of our voice. So you must know how to control the tone of your voice. So if you're required to speak on a very loud, you hear me, I'm going loud tone, you go very loud. But when you're required to go low, you speak low. I hope now you understand what communication is and how important communication is, especially when it comes to acting. And from an actor's workbook, and as well from my online sources, it explained further what communication is and how important it is to have communication verbally as well as physically and with your eyes as well. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.